What's up? So, doing another Q&A today. Gonna answer the 10 best questions I got. Finished getting out, doing a little bit of throwing. Got my last 3 games of the season. Colorado this weekend at Estes Park. Whoops, trying to knock my fucking camera over. Sweet angle now. Colorado this weekend. I'll be in Estes Park. New Hampshire next weekend, and then finally my last game will be in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania at the Celtic Classic for the national championship. So, a couple games left. Trying to keep things dialed in. Worked on hammer today. It's really what I throw the most of since I stink at it. But either way, here's a Q&A, and I wanted to answer some travel questions since I seem to do a ton of it. Manny Bam Bam, the greatest place I've ever been in all categories. Travel there, accommodation, and food. Pretty simple, man. My favorite place in the world right now is Iceland. I've been 5 or 6 times now, and I've got some really great friends over there. I'm a sucker for like mid-century type design or modern design. Everything there seems to be really clean and Scandinavian, so that part really appeals to me. Things seem really simple there. It seems quiet, it seems relaxing, and I can't really put my finger on it, but it's pretty magical. I tend to just get a really good recharge to my system when I'm there, and I can't explain it. There's been very, very few other places I've ever been that just seem this big breath of fresh air for me that I can kind of relax and shut down, and I'm there. I don't know if it's so far away that things are kind of different, but I do love it. So, food's good. They eat hamburgers and hot dogs and other types of delicious shit, and the people are great. Steve B, 755. As much traveling as I do I ever get digestive problems with all the different foods? I'm picturing you with an iron gut, but you never know. I'm pretty good gut-wise. I don't fall into the same category as some of my other friends, like seems to basically get the shits for no reason, just being alive. A couple things will mess me up, but yeah, I do pretty good. I take some probiotics that usually travel with me. I take this multivitamin pack, Myovite. It's kind of got a little bit of everything in it, and that seems to work pretty good for me. As well as typically when I arrive somewhere, I'll go and purchase one of these small containers of Metamucil to get me through a long weekend and keep your poops right. That's typically what I do. Nope. DJ Main 77. What's your diet like when traveling multiple days at a time? I follow a flexible dieting plan, and I will try to stick to it the best I can. Again, as long as my goals are in range and my weight is kind of staying on the scale, I kind of relax. I could be a little bit more, I could be better about it, but I'm just not. I really don't have anything better to say about it than that. I try to eat pretty decent. I don't want to just fucking pound cheeseburgers the whole time I'm on the road, but at the same time I don't want to just go eat chicken and rice. So I kind of keep it neutral and just try to, hit the macros that I've got going on, and when I'm home, be really good about the diet. Trent Monk 92. What is your opinion of the best stretch for keeping or improving hip mobility? I drive 4 to 5 hours daily, and it seems that they are tight. Of course they're going to be tight. You're already stuck basically at the bottom of your squat all day long. So your body's going to react, and it's going to kind of conform to whatever stimulus you're getting in. So if you're telling it, hey, we're going to sit down all the time, your body's going to be able to sit down a lot. It won't be as good as, say, staying in extension or standing or extending the hips all the way because you've shortened up all those things because you're sitting all the time. Believe me, I understand your pain, and this is something I deal with constantly. So that is one of the main reasons for the Meathead Mobility series, is I am just trying to give some people some quick tools that work for me. I know people get bored with the Meathead Mobility series, but I needed to get the videos out there and start putting them out, you know, for people to get a hold of. And a lot of it is, you know, there's different tips and tricks that come with a guy who's 280 pounds, guys that lift. It's not skinny, flexible people trying to figure out how to stretch. I've got some more meat, and I've got some more soft tissue, and I've got some more things that have to be gotten through to get to those areas to really dig on them. I try to stand as much as I can when I'm not driving, other than I'm sitting fucking right now. I've got a stool for my desk. My desk is a little higher height, and I've actually got it set up to where this off season I'll be standing a lot more at it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Also, as soon as I get out of bed, I try to do some yoga type stuff in the gym, really, to get things moving. It's really just 5 or 10 minutes, but it's just reminding the body that we're done being in a cramped, short position. Let's stretch a little bit. I also, as I'm driving a lot, I stop every once in a while. I drink a shitload of water, which seems to help the way my tissues feel. I also stop, I don't know, once an hour or so and move around, stretch a little bit, hit a couple, you know, full range of squats, maybe do some leg swings. You know, those things make a big difference just to reset the damage you've been doing for the last hour. Chris Swolney, when traveling through time zones, what do you do to get quality sleep? What do I do to get quality sleep when traveling through time zones? Depends on how many time zones. If I'm going overseas, I will try to sleep on that flight. Typically they're a red eye going from west to east to the Atlantic. I've never gone across the Pacific, so I really don't know. Traveling to California is 2 hours. It's really not that big a difference. But melatonin, some Benadryl, stuff like that. ZMAs are great. And you know, usually after landing in a time zone, I will try to catch a workout and then try to fall in whatever clock they are on and force myself to sleep, even the first night, if it takes drugs or whatever it's going to be. But that's what I do to try to get over that jet lag, and it seems to make a difference. Being active instead of just groggy for a long time seems to help. If it's a really long flight, like you know, a trip to France, you know, a 10-hour flight, 7-hour time difference, I usually will try to sleep the best I can on the flight, and then when I get there, take a big nap, get up, you know, after a couple hours of sleep, and then ride it out to the end of that day and try to get on regular time. Otherwise, I get kind of... But it's not a lot of fun, and it stinks. But you deal with it, because travel's really cool. And I like seeing new places and doing awesome shit with awesome people. From the good guys over at Brute Strength. Obviously, with so much driving you do, the old truck trick, jerk off right up to the point of ejaculation and stop, causing you to be wide awake for the next half hour, then repeat. So my question is it better to use pornography or just your imagination to get to that point? I've heard that if you use your imagination, you can get up to 50% longer. I haven't done a lot of studies on this. I don't do a lot of drive jacking, or as it's called. And then the technique they're actually referring to is called edging, where you kind of just work up to the edge of it and then go hands-free and let it relax, and then repeat that process. I don't typically do it while driving. I haven't had to do a lot of nighttime driving, overnighters, but I would probably try to stick with the imagination, looking at the cell phone, watching porno, driving a 70-mile-per-hour missile, and trying to edge would probably be a disastrous combo. That's my thought. So you keep edging to the time when you're in safety. You always have a spotter. Knop 252. Best way I found to pass time driving so many hours. I listen to podcasts. Not a terrible amount of music anymore while I'm driving, but yeah, podcast. I listen to Joe Rogan. I listen to Mark Bell. Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. There's another pretty funny one I recently found called Guys We Fucked. Those are pretty solid. Joe Rogan's always really solid and will always kind of turn you on to some new stuff. Books on Tape are really cool. I did that for a long time, and I have switched to podcast, and I may end up on Books on Tape again. Nick Kolb. What do I do for a living that allows me to be tattooed, travel, and have nice things that I do? You're doing great, man. Thanks. Really, really happy. The job I have, I really don't go over it a whole lot, but I am an outside sales rep, so I travel quite a bit for work. and that's part of it. And so I work in the petrochemical field in the refineries with oil and gas. That's about as detailed as I care to get for the internet. But it's a good gig. You know, I build my own schedule. I work from home most days, or at least I start my day at home and then hit the road to go see customers, and then I make myself back home. So a lot of days, you know, I'm up at 6, and usually by 2, 3 o'clock I'm kind of done. So you end up getting your 8 hours, but they're on a weird time frame, as well as I kind of answer my phone all the time, 24 hours a day, wherever I'm at in the world. So I have that, as well as, you know, kind of the other stuff I've got going on. Throwing pays a little bit. I've got some great sponsors that contribute, and I've got Hate Brand Goods, which I'm hawking quite a bit and making a few bucks. So please support, and I'll keep making videos and trying to do more awesome shit with awesome people. The Sigana, I'm gonna butcher that, I'm not very smart. Best Chicago styles for food, booze, and coffee. Could be one spot, could be 10. Go and you're welcome. Chicago's favorite places. For sure, Kuma's. Longman and Eagle has another really, really rad spot. Great coffee, great food, cool brunch spot. Parsons Fish and Chicken, I think is the name of it. Recently found that, seems pretty rad. Silver Palm's really cool, great food. There's a ton of great bars in Chicago. It's a really great city with real fucking bars in it, not clubs or any of that shit. I don't really do that, so. Ocean's got a fucking great one with great food. That's probably one of the better spots. Brandon Vangrol. If I weren't competing in the Highland Games, would I still travel all the places that I do? I would want to, but I probably wouldn't. Highland Games makes it really great. Like I've said in the past, as a professional, we actually get paid to compete. There's prize money every weekend, as well as usually our travel is covered by the sport. It's a great sport. It's provided a much more fun lifestyle than I ever could have imagined as a strength athlete, and I really love it. So I would like to go all the places I've been if I wasn't competing. Traveling is a passion of mine. I really do love it. I do it in my own time as well as competing, but I definitely wouldn't travel as much as I do. Same guy, how do I keep my hair so perfect on the road? It's a tough life. I've got a pretty thick, decent head of hair for one, that helps. 2, get a good haircut. Gode Brothers in Baton Rouge is a fucking man. Micah, thank you. And then product, I use a pomade or a wax from Uppercut Deluxe. Pretty good stuff. I think it's called Frankenhold. It's pretty badass, pretty thick, and washing it out sucks. Loretto 313, does your wife get upset about all the fine ass pussy I get to work out with on all your travels? No. I hate to break this to everyone, but most super attractive girls that I get to train with, A, aren't single, B, aren't into fat dudes, and man, they get enough of that shit. They get enough of fucking dudes trying to be a creep. My wife's not a jealous chick, and I'm not a jealous dude of anything she gets to do. So, I mean, being in the vicinity of attractive people doesn't seem to bug her out. You know, you just don't be fucking inappropriate. You know, make some fucking friends. I'm married. I stopped letting my dick do my thinking a long time ago. Mpizzle89. Deadlift lower back soreness. What do you do about it when traveling and glutes getting tight as well as sitting down? Just stretch, man. Carry some mobility tools with you. Carry a, you know, the Novito, the tiny mobility ball that Kelly Starrett makes. Being able to sit on that and kind of grind through and shift your hips around, try to keep the glutes loose. If you're on an airplane, stand up for a while. Just go in the back and fucking stand there. Or just stand in the space next to your seat. Those things do make a really big difference. If you're driving, stop once an hour. Even if it's for 2 or 3 minutes, just get out and move around a little bit. Get some blood flowing to get the legs moving. If you're really baller, you can travel with a Mark Pro to help things, you know, stay kind of moving and pumping through. You know, one of the issues of traveling is just if it's airplanes, you're dealing with some pressure and it sucks and there's not much you can really do about it. You're just going to have to survive it and then start fixing it when you get done. And those things you can voodoo wrap, you can, you know, voodoo floss through some joints and force them through some range of motion and try to get some of that fluid moving that kind of builds up around the joints. Outside of that, usually when I'm done from an airplane, I like to stretch. I like to go for a walk. I like to do something to get the heart rate moving, to start pumping some shit through my system. So that's it. That's your questions. Thanks everybody, and I will answer the rest on Instagram sometime soon. Thanks a bunch.